Genesis 1:1 says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." There are two fields of astronomy, observational and theoretical. Observational astronomists study the stars, galaxies, planets, and other objects that are in outer space, whereas theoretical astronomists analyze and model how systems in space may have been created and changed over time. The term astronomy comes from the Greek word of astronomos, which means star regulating. Hans Lippershey was a Dutch eyeglass maker who was the first to ask to make a patent of a telescope. One story says that his idea for the telescope came from him observing two children in his shop playing with lenses. Hans saw that when they put the two lenses together, it magnified things to 3 times their size. Our solar system is made up of 8 planets plus other dwarf planets, 150 moons, and millions of asteroids. And one star, our sun. The reason we have dwarf planets is because they don't meet the planetary requirements. These are the planetary requirements. First, it has to be a sphere. Second, it has to orbit a star. For us, that's the sun. And third, it has to have enough gravity to clear the space around it of debris. A galaxy is a collection of dust, gas, billions of stars, and their planetary systems, all held together by gravity. We live in the Milky Way galaxy. You can sometimes see the Milky Way. The Milky Way is named after the milky bands of light that you can sometimes see in the night sky. The Milky Way is also 100,000 light years across. A light year is if you were traveling at the speed of light, so really, really fast, for a whole year. The Hubble telescope is a powerful telescope in space. It is famous for its beautiful space photographs and glimpses of different galaxies beyond our galaxy. The sun is a yellow dwarf star. The surface temperature of the sun is 5,500 degrees Celsius. The sun is 149.60 million kilometers away from Earth, or 1 astronomical unit. You're probably wondering, how on Earth, or in space, do we have seasons? We have an imaginary line all the way around the diameter of the Earth. This is called the equator. Locations on the equator get summer-like weather all year long because they're the closest to the sun. The Earth is on a slight tilt as it orbits the sun. For half of the year, part of the Earth is tilted toward the sun. This is how we get summer. And for the other half, your part of the Earth might be tilted away from the sun. That's how we get winter. Genesis chapter 1 verse 3 says, "Then God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light." So you're probably wondering, what exactly is the sun? For a short answer, it's a star, a ball of burning gas. The sun is a yellow dwarf star. It's mostly made up of hydrogen and helium. Hydrogen is one of the most abundant gases in the world, and helium is the gas that we use to make balloons float. Why, in outer space, is the sun important? The sun is important because, first of all, it keeps us from going out into outer space and just going forever and forever and forever before we hit something. Also, if we lost the sun, we would die because we need the heat. If there was no sun, we would freeze to death. The sun helps plants grow, and this gives us food. And so we need the sun, first of all, so that we have warmth, and second of all, so that we have food. Everything needs sun. If there was no sun, everything would die. The story of sunglasses. Sunglasses were first used by the Chinese, the Italian, and the First Nations. The First Nations used birch bark and cut very small holes in them to protect their eyes from the glare off the snow. The Chinese used smoky quartz lenses to protect their eyes instead of using glass. And Emperor Nero of the Roman Empire used polished gems to watch gladiators fight to the death. Mercury is a terrestrial planet. It has a radius of 2,440 kilometers, and it is 58 million kilometers away from the sun. Mercury has extreme temperatures. In the daytime, it can get up to 430 degrees Celsius. And at night, it can get as cold as minus 180 degrees Celsius. A year on Mercury is 88 Earth days. A complete rotation on its axis is 59 Earth days. And a solar day is 176 Earth days. Messenger was a NASA spacecraft that orbited Mercury for over 4 years. During this mission, it was able to learn more about Mercury's surface, find details about Mercury's magnetic field, give discovery about its geological history, and affirm that there was water ice on the poles of the planet. Eventually, after losing propulsion, Messenger hit Mercury at a speed of about 14,080 kilometers an hour. It hit so hard that it left a crater on the surface of the planet. Venus is 108 million kilometers away from the sun, has a radius of 6,052 kilometers, and its planet type is again a terrestrial. Although being the second planet away from the sun, Venus is the hottest planet in our solar system. Its temperatures reach 471 degrees Celsius, and a thick, dense cloud layer that surrounds the planet keeps the heat in, making it the hottest planet. Venus is a terrestrial, giving it mountains, valleys, thousands of volcanoes, and many small craters. The surface of Venus is not very thick, and thus it bulges and moves around as the mantle shifts. The atmosphere on Venus has several layers of cloud. It's so thick and heavy that if you were to stand on Venus, it would feel like you were 1.6 kilometers under the ocean. But as you move upwards, the clouds begin moving really quickly, with hurricane winds that travel up to 360 kilometers per hour. Earth is just in the right spot. It's not too far from the sun, not too close. Earth is a terrestrial planet. It is 1 astronomical unit away from the sun, or 150 million kilometers, and its radius is 6,371 kilometers. Our atmosphere has 5 layers. The troposphere, the stratosphere, which has the ozone layer to keep out UV rays, then the mesosphere, then the thermosphere than the exosphere. Mars is again a terrestrial planet. It has a radius of 3,390 kilometers and is 1.5 astronomical units away from the Sun, or 228 million kilometers. Mars gets the red tint that it is famous for from the iron in the rocks. It is also named after the Roman god of war. Olympus Mons is on Mars and is the largest volcano in our solar system. It's 3 times taller than Mount Everest and has a base size of the U.S. state of New Mexico. If you were standing on Mars's equator at noon, your feet would be in temperatures around 20 degrees Celsius, while your head would be about 0 degrees Celsius. Days on Mars are called sols. Also, Mars has really close days to us, which are 24.6 hours, where Earth has 23.9 hours. Asteroids are like mini planets. They range in size from about 33 feet to 530 kilometers in diameter. More than 150 asteroids have small moons that orbit them. In movies, asteroids are always super crammed together in asteroid belts. But in reality, if you were to fly to Jupiter, you probably wouldn't even see one. If you were to put all the asteroids in the belt together, their mass is estimated to be less than the mass of the moon. When comets get too close to the sun, the gas melts, leaving a long, beautiful tail. A comet is a big ball of frozen gas, dust, and rock. Meteoroids, meteors, and meteorites. A meteoroid is basically just a rock in space. But when it enters our atmosphere, it becomes a meteor. And if it makes it to Earth, it becomes a meteorite. Each day, 48.5 tons of meteorite material hits Earth. Jupiter is our first gas giant, being mainly made up of hydrogen helium. It is 5.2 astronomical units away from the Sun, or 778 million kilometers, and has a radius of 69,911 kilometers. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system. If Jupiter was the size of a basketball, Earth would be the size of a grape. And if you were to put all the planets in our solar system together, other than Jupiter, Jupiter would still be 2.5 times bigger than all of them combined. Jupiter rotates in 10 hours. Since it rotates so fast, it gets colorful bands of cloud, with colors ranging from white, tan, gold, and red. Jupiter has rings, but you can only see them when it is backlit by the sun. The Great Red Spot is a huge swirling storm that is twice the size of Earth and has been seen for 300 years. Saturn has 79 moons, the most out of all the planets in our solar system. But only 53 of them have official names. The largest 4 were found by Galileo Galilei in 1610. They are known as the Galilean satellites. These 4 moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, and Callisto, are the most studied moons of Jupiter. Europa has such a large ocean beneath its icy crust that some scientists wonder if it could support life, and Ganymede is the largest moon in our solar system. It's even larger than Mercury. Saturn is another gas giant and has a radius of 58,232 kilometers and is 9.5 astronomical units away from the Sun. When you think of Saturn, you think of its rings. It has a system of 7 rings that orbit at all different speeds. And the rings are made up of chunks of ice, rock, and dust. Saturn has 82 moons, and one of their moons, Mimas, looks like the Death Star from Star Wars. Uranus is our first ice giant. It has a radius of 25,362 kilometers and is 19.8 astronomical units away from the Sun. Uranus is almost on its side. It is tilted at a 97.77 degree angle. Uranus also rotates in the opposite direction of all the other planets. Neptune is our last planet. It is an ice giant. It has a radius of 24,622 kilometers and is 30 astronomical units away from the Sun. Neptune has winds going faster than 2,000 kilometers per hour. These winds are 3 times more powerful than Jupiter's and 9 times stronger than Earth's hurricane force winds. Neptune has 14 moons. Its largest moon, Triton, is the coldest object in our solar system. Its icy surface reflects the sun's light and also has ice volcanoes. In 2017, scientists figured out that on ice giants there is diamond rain, but they aren't of any gem quality. Just beyond Neptune, there is the Kuiper Belt. The Kuiper Belt is a ring made up of small icy bodies. This ring includes the well-known dwarf planet Pluto. The Earth cloud has not been seen directly, but using mathematical models and observations, astronomers have guessed, based on clues they found, it exists. Thank you for sitting through the whole video, and I hope you enjoyed learning about our solar system.